Hello everybody. In this screencast, we're going to look at problem and solution in academic texts. This is a very, very common and typical kind of text organization in academic texts. We have a problem. The cookies are up here. They're too high for these poor doggies, so they have to come up with a solution. And it seems like they've got a perfectly good solution to get to those dog cookies. So let's take a closer look. So what happens? Authors organize their writing by problem and solution. The author presents a problem, and that problem can be between individuals or groups. It can be a global political problem, or a problem in an organization, or even theoretical. So when an author presents a problem, he usually proposes a solution, or more than one. So we have to read the text to identify the solutions, but especially the preferred solution, the solution that the author likes the best. Which solution does the author think best solves the problem? So let's take a look and see how they do it. Well, first of all, we need to be aware of the words that show us there's a problem. And here is a whole list of words that shows that there's some kind of problem. So when we see a word like challenge, or conflict, or crisis, dilemma, trouble, all of these words are a kind of sign that the author is going to talk about a problem. So if we look here, what do we see here? Let's look at some examples. There's an energy crisis facing the world. There's a problem. What actually happened to the ancient Incas remains a mystery. We don't know something. So if we don't know something, it's a kind of problem. Engineers face many obstacles. An obstacle is a problem in integrating new technology. There are also verbs that show us that there's a problem. So we have burden, challenge, complicate, dispute, lack, risk, threaten. All of these are examples of verbs that show us a problem. So we can use, I will not burden you with my problem. The burden is to carry something very heavy. Science is challenging the use of plastics and looking for an alternative. Air and water pollution threaten the existence of life. So all of these show that there's some kind of problem. And we have a similar kind of situation with solutions. So here we have relief, remedy, resolution, response, solution. These are nouns that show us that there's some kind of solution. So we have some examples. Exercise is a relatively cheap and easy remedy solution for many illnesses and chronic health problems. There was an immediate global response solution to the tsunami in Japan a few years ago. And here we could say we've got lots and lots of verbs. And that's because verbs for solution mean action. If you want to solve something, you have to do something. So we have address, alleviate, answer, cope with. These are all words that you should know and be able to recognize that they show us that the author is talking about a solution. Let's look at some examples. The Cuban Missile Crisis was settled when each side agreed to move its weapons. Perhaps we'll change the word Cuban to Korean soon. Increased support from the government would relieve some of the hardships the elders are facing. And here we have an interesting here. Relieve shows us the solution. What is our problem? Hardships the elder or older people are facing. So what do you do when you see a text? Well, you might want to, when you read it, circle the markers of problem. Look for the solution. Circle them. Underline the problem. Underline the solution. So here we have a text, and we have to read it and look for those markers that show a problem and those markers that show the solution. And if we look here, we see the word lack, dilemma, challenge, problem. All of those are problems, and I've circled them in red. You might want to use this color coding yourself. Red for a problem, green for a solution. So we can see what is the lack of high-quality, affordable child care. Not only puts working parents in a dilemma and a problem, but creates a challenge for organizations who wish to hire the best qualified workers. How do we do that? Some employers have addressed, ding, 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 this is a solution to the problem, by establishing their own child care centers. So here the text gives us the solution. So if we want to sum up, read the paragraph, look for the words that show a problem. Look for the words that show a solution. Underline, circle, or highlight these words. Then ask yourself, what's the problem? What are the proposed solutions? And what is the author's preferred solution? And here you can underline it in the text or write the problem, the solution, in your own words in the margin of the text. And you can do that in English or any other language. And finally, ask yourself, is there a logical connection between problem and solution? Does it make sense? We've got a problem. Is the solution that the author is suggesting, is it logical? If yes, why? Think about it. If not, why? Think about it. Because it's important to be a critical and thinking reader. So now you know all about problem and solution, and it's your turn to read and look for these points.